So in this video we're going to be talking about how to create basic animations in Unity using the tools within Unity. So this isn't animations like you might traditionally think of in, say, a Pixar film or a AAA game. Those are usually done in Maya or 3D Studio Max or another type of program like that. Rather, these are animations that you'll do within Unity for simple tasks like making things shrink or grow or move around or rotate and change colors and stuff like that. So the first step is to select the object that you'd like to animate. So I'm going to start with this cube and just hit F to focus on it. And then you're going to go to Window, Animation, Animation, not the animator window, the animation window, which can also be found with Command 6. So I'm going to hit that, and it opens up the animation window. Now I like to personally dock this window down here. It just makes it a little bit easier to see and work with. And as I have an object selected, it's going to ask me to begin animating, hit Create. So I'll tap this Create button. It's going to want me to save that animation somewhere in my Assets folder, so I'll call this Cube Animation, hit Save. And now I have an animation timeline. And if you've ever used any sort of video editing software, this will look familiar. You're starting at 0 seconds and you're going to 1 second right here. So these are all the frames of the animation. Our game expects to run at 60 frames per second, so there's 60 frames in 1 second. I can zoom out by scrolling my mouse wheel back to give myself more time to work with. So I'm at 0 seconds, and as I click and drag, I'm moving around onto different frames. So at 2 seconds, I'll be on frame 120. At 3 seconds, I'll be on frame 180, and so on. Down here, I have Add Property, and this is where I'll add the property that I'm actually animating. So for example, I'm going to add a simple shrinking and growing animation to this cube. I'll hit Add Property, and it pulls up all of the components of that cube over here. Let's pull them up right here. So under the Transform property, I'm going to be changing the Scale property. So I'll just twirl Transform down, and I see Scale, and I simply hit plus. And it's added a Scale property here. That can be further twirled down to see all of its different values. So it starts at 1, 1, 1. And this is a keyframe based animation, meaning that all of those properties are listed right here on this first frame of animation. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, start here on this frame, and we're going to end at 1 second for now. This is the ending frame of the animation. And this is the value that we're going to tell the computer to get to. So we're going to basically go from point A to point B. So at point A, we're at 1. At point B, let's say we want to get to 5 times its current size. So this would be the number 5 instead of the number 1. So what the computer's going to do is calculate, so what do I need to do to rapidly change this to be reaching that 5 by the time it gets to 1 second? This is how all keyframe-based animations work. If you're familiar with any other keyframe-based software like After Effects or Premiere, this is pretty simple. So I'm going to hit the Record button, and once I hit that Record button, what's happening is anytime I make a change to any of these properties, it's going to be recorded. You can see those are highlighted in red right now. So I'm at 1 second, my playhead's at 1 second, and all I'm going to do is just type in the number 5, 5, 5. So I've made it 5 times larger at 1 second. So as I move this, I can see, okay, it started at 1, and it gets to 5 by 1 second. Let's go further ahead. Let's say at 2 seconds, I want it to go down to 3, 3, 3. So now it goes from 1 to 5 to 3. So wherever this playhead is, let's say I click out here at 5 seconds. And I can do this organically with just the R button. Say I want it really small at 5 seconds. And then maybe at 6 seconds we'll go back to 1. Okay. I can hit play to preview this animation to see what it'll look like. Alright, it looks great. Whenever I'm done with it, I can hit this record button to stop recording. And now I can just hit play and see what happens with my animation. So by default, these animations play automatically. And they loop as well, so they'll just play in an endless loop. I can see the animation over here. I can tell it to always animate or stop animating, etc. There's things to change over here. That's the basics of a simple animation in Unity. So let's click on the sphere and do the same thing, but we'll do a movement-based animation. So I have the sphere selected. I'll hit Create. I'll give it a name. I'll just call it Sphere Animation. I'm going to add some transform properties like position, because that's what I want to animate. And the starting positions here, I'm going to give myself a lot of time, and I'm going to say by 10 seconds or so, I'm going to have it move all the way out here, and then I'll have it move back. So I'm at 1 second right now. If I hit this jump, it'll jump me over to the next keyframe, and I'll just move it. I'll hit the record button first, and then I'll just move it out here. And then let's say by 20 seconds, I want to have it over here. And then by 25 seconds, I want it to go back to the starting position. I can actually just grab that starting position, copy. So I have it all selected. I just copy it, paste it in. I know I'm moving pretty quickly here, but you're welcome to try this out. And there's a lot more depth to this than I'm covering right now. But just for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to go a little bit into detail here. So I've just copied these keyframes and pasted them at the end. So now let's hit play. So it's going to start really slowly. Over 10 seconds, it's going to move to that first position that I had set up. And then over 10 seconds, it's going to move to that second position. And then over 5 seconds, it's going to move to that final position and then go back through the cycle again. All right, so I'm going to hit that. And I'm going to hit play and just see how all of these are working together. All right. And they look pretty great. So in the next video, we're going to be animating the color of this light. So we're going to animate a deeper property this time and see what happens there.